Welcome back to Initial Speed. I'm your host, Phil, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do an interview on a guy with a car. Thanks, Phil, for having me over with my car. I will do my best in trying to answer these questions, but I am hella excited about this build. All right, let's do this. Philip, thanks for coming. What kind of car is this? This is a 2000 Audi A4 1.8 turbo quattro. So it's a small displacement, but it's turbocharged. Can you tell us where the car has been for the last while? So the car has been missing for the last 2.5 years. It was supposed to be a month. It went over to K&H Performance. All right, tell us what has been done to this car. Well, we quickly learned that this engine is the bastard child engine, the ATW engine. So it's a narrow band engine, and we need a wide band ECU, to get this thing up and running crazy. So first off, they disassembled the engine, rebuilt it, what have you. Then we found out that I tried to cut corners, so I bought a used turbo, and it was burnt. So I had to come up with some more money for a new turbo. The guy with the NSX that sold me the turbo. Ugh. Anyhow, we went over that. We got over that, got a new turbo, and we pushed it and realized that a bigger turbo would be the way to move. So that's what we did. Then it came time for tuning, and because, like I was saying, it's an ATW engine, it gave so many problems. The engine came out 2 or 3 times for us to investigate. At one point we found that one of the rings was bent. So, the rings on the piston, So, I'm a bit excited. So that was a delay as well. So it was one thing after another until we finally sorted it out. And the first tuner that we had, started tuning, told them what to do to make a couple of changes. And then the next week, so that was on a Friday, on the Monday they called to get the tuner to continue and couldn't get a hold of him. Couldn't get a hold of him all week. And then we found out that he'd gone on vacation without telling anyone. Come on, leave someone hanging? So we went to another tuner, and that tuner just did not like this engine, this ECU, so he opted out. Then we moved on to United Motorsports in Connecticut, I believe, and they wrote the file for this car. It's not finished. I mean, it's finished, it's driving, but there's a secondary file coming. I know it looks funny, but I'm excited. Interesting. So what parts were used on the engine build? What hasn't been done to it? The engine has been pulled apart, like I said. We pulled the engine, or they pulled the engine. I started pulling the engine, but when I was wanting to get this done 2.5 years ago, I had hurt my back and it was just starting to get better, and I started to pull this engine, and then I realized it's not going to go the way I want to. I'm going to end up more hurt than I already was, so that's why I took it over to K&H Performance. They took the engine out, disassembled it, hot bathed it, honed it, decked it. Then we put in the pistons and rings. And the rings, I believe, are Wiseco pistons and rings. The connecting rods, we had, I think it was Eagle rods. I don't remember. That I have to look up. But I had a secondary set of rods, and the weight was much closer, much better. And that actually was Max Peating rods. Who would have thought this Chinese company would be doing better than, the American company? I mean, I know that all the parts are made in China. It's just the name is stamped on it. I know. For the list of parts, there's a long list. If you give me a second, I'll pull them up. So the engine has been overbuilt. It's built for at least 750 crank horsepower. On an all-wheel drive vehicle, that'll be the chef's kiss, if I go that far. So here's a list of parts that has been thrown at it. So like I said, it was hot tanked, decked, the cylinders were honed, the pistons are Wiseco, the rings are Wiseco, the connecting rods are Max Peating rods, the connecting bearings are Wiseco, the crank bearings are Wiseco, timing belt, water pump, oil pickup, all have been done. The intercooler, I don't remember the name of it. Eurojet, I got the Eurojet diverter valve because it looked like a grenade. Come on. Knowing how, you know, when you build these engines and you don't know what you're doing, you blow them up, I thought the grenade was kind of a nice little, no? The turbo is a GTX 3071R, so Garrett, and I believe that's the Gen 2. That's what we stepped up to. And as I said, the software is United Motorsports, and that's who tuned it. Now, for the head was hot tanked. It was resurfaced, so, you know, make sure that the mating surfaces are flat and can mate up nicely. The valves are Supertech in-canal exhaust valves. The valve springs are IE titanium springs and keepers. The injectors are Siemens 630 cc's, APR head studs, precision blow-off valve. I believe it's a 50 mil blow-off valve. And the fuel pump is an 044 fuel pump. All right, what's next for this project of yours? What's next? Oh, I can't tell you, because if I were to tell you and my wife were to watch this video, I spent more on this than she would have liked me to. You know how it is, guys. You get into a project and it's just, while I'm in there, I might as well, and you know, you fall down that rabbit hole. Can you tell us everything you've done to this car of yours? What's been done to the whole car? I've gone through almost the whole thing. The suspension's been, you know what? Initial Speed, have me back, and I'll go through from front to back what's been done to this thing. You know, for the B5 car guys out there. Well, thank you very much for giving us a little insight into your baby, should I call her? We appreciate having you here, and we will definitely have you back to give us more details on what has been done to this thing. Thanks for having me, Initial Speed. I gotta go, guys. You know how it is when you have a fresh build, all you want to do is drive. I gotta put some miles on this thing, kilometers. Anyhow, thanks for having me. Ugh. Oh, sick! Thanks! That look all right? Gotta go! Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tune back in because you never know what's coming next from Initial Speed. Thank you for watching. Initial Speed, out.